Konbanwa. Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing? Another late night stream? It's not so late. Excuse me. How are we all doing? First things first, I want to say I'm very sorry about Friday. I had my son's. There's like a birthday event at the end of the month. They don't do it for everyone's birthday, but everyone who had a birthday that month, they had a little ceremony. The parents of the kids who are having their birthdays that month, they come. And I thought it was an hour later than it ended up being. And the first time, and I couldn't really get out of it. Maybe in future. Because all the parents didn't show up. But sorry, family comes first. I had to do that. And then, well, we've got lots to talk about the weekend. Oh, we've got an ad break. Always such poor timing on these streams, Jesus. I hope everyone is okay. I'm sorry. We've got to sort out these ads starting at the start. I wonder why it does that. I thought I had pre-rolls off, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to double check that. Anyway, let's get carving. We're back on the bonsais. Oh, one other thing to say about the Friday stream. I saved one of the blocks. I saved one of the, maybe I can flip over. I saved one of the blocks to carve on stream. We've got two sides. I think I can do both sides on stream. We will do that next Friday. The color blocks I'm still working on, and so we shall. It'll probably, because there was a national holiday yesterday. Yeah, so those blocks, I won't be finishing them this week. So I guess maybe we'll see. Probably on Friday we'll be working on that, unless I'm super quick and I finish everything up too quick. But I guess not. Okay, let's get started. Straight into it. Let me just get into the rhythm of carving a little bit on this bonsai. It feels like it's been a long time, right? Start the music. Is that volume okay for you guys? Where should we work on today? We've done this bottom section. This is all done. We have the pot and the moss, which is kind of finicky work. We can move on to the branches up here, or we can just carry on the trunk. Guess we'll just do the trunk. We'll carry on. And if anyone has a burning passion for a different section of the block, maybe we can oblige. I don't have strong feelings anyway, really. Let's just work down here, down this edge of the trunk. Get me on camera properly. Is that right? A bit lower. Sorry if I had a shaky cam. This good? So this Monday was a national holiday. I'm not really sure what the national holiday was for. I never thought to check. I didn't really remember the national holiday or my plans for the national holiday until Friday. The music's great, nice. I'm not able to watch this live. I generally have meetings at this time. Hi, hi. Um, yeah, if you need to skip at any time, I'm sorry I can't put the music on the VODs because it's not. Um, I don't have the rights to it. But if it's your first time here, welcome in. If you have any questions that from previous streams, like don't hesitate. That's also cool. Tyron, that's very similar to my name. Welcome in. Hello from Iceland. Wow, wow, wow. We've got a proper international audience today. We haven't actually done a census for where everyone's from. Need a small picky pick. We okay? Am I nice on camera? I'm glad people are enjoying the music because, especially on these evening streams, like it's nice to have something on in the background. Especially when I'm a little sleepy, which is most Tuesday streams. I had a busy old weekend, so we went on our first camping trip with our son. So he's just turned 1, so I think like it's okay to go camping and stuff. It's a little bit hot. I'm Australian, but I live in Bangkok. Wow, a whole lot of national holidays here, and it's hard to remember what each is for. Yeah, yeah, I feel you. From Australia and Bangkok. What do you do in Bangkok? What took you over to that part of the world? Bunch of first time chats here today. It's good to see. We like participation. Whenever I miss a stream, it feels like it's like I'm starting all over again. People kind of forget about the stream. I'm only a small streamer. So I guess the numbers will be kind of down today. It always happens if I miss a Friday stream. Everyone goes, "Oh, this guy's not serious." But we're not so fussed about that. Work for a remote Australian company. A remote Australian company that made you relocate. Is that a bit of an oxymoron? Move to Bangkok and do remote work. Taran is from the same origin as Thor, so an Iceland could have the same name. It's actually not. I don't think so. Taran is from. It's Welsh. It means the literal translation is thunder. Um, and it's from these old. There's a very famous folk tale like compilation book of all like Welsh myths. It's called the Mabinogion. Well, there's a few books actually, The main like folklore book of Wales is called the Mabinogion. These really old stories, and it's from a really lesser known section of that. There's like this whole section that's about dream sequences. The famous ones, everyone learns them in school about Bendigeidfran and like this giant who is so big that he makes a bridge over a river, and then these two lovers that get stuck in a tree on a stormy night because they're not supposed to meet up and die in a tree together when it's struck by lightning. These types of like folktale stories. But Taran was a prince, I think. I don't really remember the story of my own name, actually. I know a lot of the other Mabinogion stories quite well. I'm Mexican but live in Germany. No questions but comment. I'm learning a lot about carving. Why the tools need to be a certain size or why they have U-gouges in the first place. U-gouge first, then that's what this is here for. I'm glad people are enjoying. Okay, so you just moved to where was it? Bangkok. For just for yourself. Just so yeah, first camp with the Sprog. It was a lot of fun. It's been a long time since we went camping. I love camping. I used to do a lot like really wild camping in the UK. Just like take a tarp and a bivvy, jar of honey and some twine, go out, make a lean-to or something. Camping like in Japan is not really like that. But it's a good way to get out of the city. And while you're like out there, you go hiking and stuff. We didn't do that with our boy that time. But we chose a campsite that had a river, and he just got a lot of time to play in the river, which is fun. The dynamic of our old camping system has changed a little bit though. Basically, one person is like having to look after him because he just gets into everything. He's one, so it was almost like all the setup and stuff. Like sort of like camping on my own for a little while, and then just a kid, and then just a little kid running around. As he gets older, it'll get easier, I guess.
円と違い。
ありがとう。コリンガミ、ありがとう。It's nice to see them put to use. I had actually noticed that time though. Those modular Japanese camping setups I can get these days are insane. Are you talking about like the snow peak stuff, like the IGT tables, and you put the stoves in and they can expand and stuff? I haven't actually got the table, but most of my setup is from that brand. It's really nice to get out the city again. On the way back, we were gonna go. We went to Chichibu. It's a really nice area. We had a nice drive. I avoided the toll roads, and we went up like these really windy mountain roads, single lane mountain roads to get to the campsite. And on the way, we were gonna on the day we checked out, which was Monday morning. So we went up there on Sunday and we checked out, and we were going to go to one of the biggest shrines in Japan, I guess. I don't know how accurate that is. It's a really big shrine called Mitsumine Jinja. But we weren't that far from it. But one of the mountain roads that connected us to where that was, so it's like going across on the map just a little bit. Um, it wouldn't have taken that long, but because that mountain pass was closed, it would have been like an hour plus to get around, drive around the whole mountain to get to that side. So we ended up going to the Moomin Valley Park. We've been there before, but he's a little bit older now, and he could enjoy it a little bit more. Have you ever watched GeoWizard's Straight Line Mission across Wales and other countries? Yeah, I've seen GeoWizard. And he did a bunch of stuff with Stora. So that was cool to see that cross platform stuff. He's not Welsh, is he? He's like from no, his accent is like English. Yeah, kitchens and everything. Yeah. Those setups are cool. Snow Peak is a really cool brand. I like it, but very expensive. Lots of places to stay, good street food. This is Bangkok. Authentic spicy tom yum. I do enjoy tom yum. Taryn, you could potentially start a Japanese version of Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. I don't know what Outdoor Boys is. What is Outdoor Boys? I'm guessing it's a couple guys who go outdoors. There's also great campsites in Thailand, underrated, I think. There you have. I have to deal with the heat. Yeah. I think what we might do if we're gonna go again with him, the campers next to us, they have. Oh, they had. I guess they still have it. They didn't throw it out. They had a battery powered fan, like a big industrial fan, which was really cool. And they were really nice as well. As soon as they set up, they gave him a little uchiwa, the circle shaped fans. We made good friends with them. Actually. Well, we didn't talk much, but they gave us that straight away. They chatted a bit. Then at the end, we bought them some drinks and stuff to say thank you. And they gave us some snacks. The Japanese way like sort of giving gifts thing was on full display. They were really cool. I like those people a lot. Be nice to have some camping friends like that. I do kind of miss like wild camping in the UK. I used to go out and just get lost for a few days. Like this was before phones and stuff. I was quite young doing this. You can never really get too lost in the UK. It's not such a big place, but I sort of adopted without unbeknownst to him, but I sort of adopted Ray Mears as a father figure when I was younger. I just loved like bushcraft and stuff. I guess maybe I told you about it before, right? Did I tell you about going to see him? I think I did. It was one of the early streams. This is going to be an issue with these streams, isn't it? I'm going to be repeating stories. I'm already forgetting what I've told you guys. Grew up camping in Australia. The creatures are a minor inconvenience. Um, yeah, I don't think I'd have taken up like camping as a hobby if I lived in Australia probably. In the morning when I went to wash some plates. No, in the evening when I went to wash like the cast iron and stuff. Um, there was a spider that looked sort of like a young huntsman in the sink, and I tried to get it out. I put the plates there. I tried to get it out, but it was quite an aggressive one, so I just sort of moved over and went to a different sink after like trying to get it out carefully because it looked like it was struggling. I, I did my best, and then I just thought it's too late for this. I'm gonna move over. I went behind. No problem with the repeating stories. I'll do my best not to, but it's it's gonna be inevitable. I'm gonna do it sometimes. Yeah, so I did tell the story, okay. Tsuchinoko? What's Tsuchinoko? Encounters with Tsuchinoko. That seems familiar. I'm guessing it's a sort of creature. My partner is like I call her a bug catcher, like in the Pokemon game. She's super into it. She gets up really early and she tried to do it with our son, but she was a bit sad because she couldn't like get into the bushes to look for the bugs and stuff. Kabutomushi toka, the rhinoceros beetles and stuff like that. She really loves it. She's got really good eyes for it. So I set up the tent and yeah, stag beetles too. So I set up the tent and set up the camp and cooked food and did the barbecue. And she goes off looking for bugs. Japan kids do that in summer. Yeah, yeah. Bug catching is a big thing for kids. Yeah. Actually, on the other side, we had the nice people on one side, and then on one of the other sides, there was like kind of this little bit odd family. Like the father was a little bit stern, and we heard the kids like talking to their father in Keigo, which we thought was a bit strange. No judgments, obviously. But the time they got really animated was when the dad saw a bug and he like quite knowledgeable apparently. I didn't hear this. Ayana was telling me. They were all into catching their bugs. It is. Better to be safe than sorry in those, even if you think it is. On thicker lines, they've got enough strength that you can just sort of like give it a bit more pressure until it pops. But on thin lines, it's really, really scary. Sometimes the waste wood has a lot more strength than your lines, and just giving it a little bit extra, if it hasn't been cut really deep, it can break the lines easy. What else? On Saturday, I finished. I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell you. I finished the print that I was working on for Asuka Sensei, the key block anyway. He has asked me to do all the color blocks, which I hadn't really scheduled for. And honestly speaking, the money for doing the color blocks is really not worth worth my time. So I'll have to talk to him about that. I always end up doing them, but I don't get paid enough for that, to be honest. We'll have a word. I can deal with spiders, snakes, most mammals, etc. I loathe ants because the buggers get everywhere. Yeah, there's not any real. Oh, well, there was actually, I lie. There was a massive. It looked like a hornet, but it was an ant. It was an ant. It had a long. Welcome in, Spiegel. It had a long, like, thorax with a sort of pointy end that looked like a wasp, and it flew. There was a bunch of weird bugs, you know. There was like fluorescent green looking. You know the bug. Has anyone seen the King Kong with Jack Black and stuff? Kind of an old movie now, I guess. But there's one scene in that where they get like eaten by a bunch of bugs and they're all over them. They kind of look like those bugs, but a little bit smaller. Fluorescent green. Sort of like halfway between cockroach and a grasshopper, I guess. I've never seen that before. Yeah, lots of weird spiders in Japan as well. I don't really have a big problem with spiders. Like I'll pick them up and put them outside, type of thing. But I don't know. I'm in the UK. Like I've grown up with all my like senses about what's dangerous and what's not, that there is anything dangerous in the UK, but like plants and stuff as well. Like what's safe to eat, what's dangerous, what shouldn't you touch. Like, and I haven't grown up here in Japan. I'm not as sharp with that stuff. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. The native species and stuff. Like snakes, for example. In the UK, there's only really the adder you have to watch out, and they're really not that common. And it's turned as far as snakes go, like they're not even that bad. Not like anything in Australia. But in Japan, I don't know the bugs and plants and stuff as well. Ad coming in 10 seconds. I got there. Where's my brush? Same. When I moved to Finland from the UK, I just stayed away from everything unless my wife says it's safe. The blessing is to stay away from all the spiders, though. Spiders in the UK you're talking about? There's not that many. It's mostly daddy longlegs in the UK. Little house spiders and daddy longlegs. Finland seems like a nice country. I've never been. We'll get out there at some point. Because I've been focused on like getting really good at this, I got obsessed basically. I haven't even really traveled Japan much, let alone go on holidays. I didn't go back to the UK for 5 years because I was just, well, money was tough and just doing this. Getting a bit more stable now, and I'm trying to prioritize like family life and stuff. So, well, work hard when you're young so you can sort of enjoy a bit later. Not sure that's the best way to live your life, but that's the way I've done it because I am a workaholic. We're working on it. We're working on it. Look at that. Oh, am I off camera again? Comment. Down there. There. Okay. There's no chance for any like big satisfying clearing on this block. They're all really, really thin. Like often when you got thicker lines, like you just get a large chisel and you just take the whole side of the wastewood off and it's done really quickly. But this is all like if I did that, I'd lose half of them. So it's best just to go slowly, take your time. If you're doing it for a long stretch, like you get into a rhythm and the time flies past, and it doesn't feel like you're doing big progress and then all of a sudden, like, you look at the block and it's all done. But when I'm just doing like little sections like this, an hour and a half at a time, maybe like 2 or 3 times a month, it's going to take a long time. I want to move on, which is why I'm not super keen on doing the color blocks. I'll have to do some of them. We'll see if I have to do them all. Align. Got this one. Oh, that's waste. This is why you need a sample. This line here, I thought it was to keep. Looks like a pretty line, right? It's just wastewood. So risky. Like if I just pick it a little bit too much, I'll lose all the tips of these lines. It's cut. Yeah, it's all cut. It's just a bit sketchy. Might need to get the smallest pick in here. Lines like this are a little bit tricky because, how do I explain this? When a line is going this way, like the inside of the line, when the grain is going across, so you can see the grain directions. Grain's going, let's hold this straight. Grain's going this way, and I want to carve the inside of this line. The best way to go is from this side, up from the bottom, following across. But for this side of the line, I want to go down like that. So when there's two lines that are close together, you're doing both of those actions at the same time. And so for this one on top here, it's perfect. But for the one on the bottom, you're going actually against the preferred way for clearing. Here, the wood will split and run and go through the lines. And here, it'll split away from the lines. So when you've got lines really close to each other like that, you can't get U-gouging. If there's enough space, obviously, you get U-gouging and you can do both sides of the line at different times. But on skinny lines like this, you just sort of have to go with the easiest way to carve the wood. So you want to go with the way the wood wants you to go. If you go against it, then it's more likely that it's going to split and run in the wrong direction. So the keys just go slow, which makes for quite dull streams, I imagine. But slow and clean is better than quick and chipped. It's becoming a catchphrase of this stream, isn't it? The slow is quick, quick is slow. Got nice sharp chisels. Where was I? They're working very nicely since our sharpening stream. G'day, Taryn. G'day. Happy Ukes. Oh, that's okay. You have a nice rest. We shall see you in the VOD, maybe. Take it easy. Thanks for popping in. not sure if this is appropriate, but is your relationship to your teacher no longer teacher student or more employee freelancer? Where can you say no to work, or do you still have to have an obligation to your teaching? It's a fine question. The dynamic has changed somewhat. In the first like three in the first 3 years of formal apprenticeship, so the first year I wasn't an apprentice, so that's not counting. And that's when I was paying for classes to sort of prove myself. I'm the first foreigner to do a formal apprenticeship in this. So he was fine teaching. Like, he teaches a lot of foreign students, but never had he'd only had 2 apprentices before that, and one of them didn't work out very well. So, like, okay, I've broken that now, and people are having a bit of an easier time of it. But it wasn't so easy for me. Then it was like a lot of cleaning and a lot of washing windows when they don't really need to be washed, and helping out with classes and stuff like that. A lot of that. Just sort of like busy work, and then carving by myself, going to work, going there most days. In the early days, I was going there a lot. And then I started helping him out with little bits of work, and nowadays the dynamic is I don't go there very often. I'm not graduated, but like, my level is basically, he hasn't taught me anything in a few years, you know. Not that I got much formal education. Most of the stuff, like, I learned while I was paying for classes, and then it's just like a little tidbit here and there occasionally. But there's not really been much of that. It's just been like getting good, and then got to a level where you can do work. So now I'm sort of obligated. It's a 10-year apprenticeship. Strictly speaking, it's only 7. And then the rest of the time is sort of like paying back as like a thank you to your teacher for taking you on. It's a big commitment, and sort of raising you. I'm not sure the system works so well anymore, given that in the past it would have been like room and board, and you wouldn't have had to really worry. And then you do like a second part-time work just to get like spending money for yourself. That's what Asuka-sensei did. Room and board, went down to Kyoto, worked at the Kamizawa, and then he'd sell udon. He'd do udon deliveries. Not sell udon. He'd do udon deliveries in the evenings. But the system's very different now. So I have an obligation to him, but he sort of understands that, like, I got a kid and stuff now. He doesn't want to push too much. And he's getting money for a rope when I do work for him, basically. So that's how I help him for teaching me. So ideally, I'd say yes to everything, and I'm not very good at setting those boundaries. Occasionally, I say, no, I'm really sorry, I can't do that. But I think that's like one time, and I ended up doing some anyway. So technically, I could be firmer and say no, but I still have that sense of obligation to him. I did not know you were one of the first. Hopefully, since you were a good kid, I assume, and have laid the groundwork for others to come. I wasn't one of the first. I was the very first. And he has, yeah, he's taken on two prospective apprentices. They're not full apprentices now. I think that's what he called it. I can't remember the word in Japanese. Ani deshi is older deshi, then there's younger deshi, and then there's like apprentice in training. So he's got a couple, and one of the people is in this chat often. I can't see him here today. So yeah, their life is a lot easier. He's taken on 3 others. Two of which are foreigners. So in total, there's one older than me. She's still helping out, but I don't think she does much carving nowadays, to be honest. I'm not really sure. That's not my business to talk about. And then there's me. And then below me, there's one who's in training. She's a couple of years behind me. So I'm a senpai. Not that she'd ever call me that. And then he's taken on 3 prospective apprentices. One other was there. That was a Japanese person I was talking about. The one other was before me. It wasn't an issue. He doesn't have any issues with foreigners. It was more so about like taking on an apprentice. He wasn't really at the stage that I was asking, really thinking sure about taking apprentices at that point. And also with the level of my Japanese, it was tough then. But I basically for the first 5 years just whenever told to jump just said how high. I broke myself against it. Just like whatever he said, work for 8 hours for no money. Okay, yeah, happy. So most of my duties, the Kobo now is I'm the main carver for Takumihanga. Whenever he gets jobs, I get the difficult stuff, and then sometimes he'll take up, or if there's some easy color blocks, he'll pass them on to some other people. Usually just him and the one below me. And the other thing I do is he gets lots of students. He teaches classes there. That's like the main setup of his shop. And I do translation. He'll call me up during the day, like maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Call me up, and I'll do some translation and help people out who are going to his class. So if you want to go to any of his classes while you're in the on a trip and curious to learn some traditional techniques, and you end up going there, you'll probably have a little call with me, unless there's someone there who speaks English in the classroom. question came to mind when you said you don't think you would do the colour blocks, that you have a choice in doing them rather than. Well, no, the assumption is that I'll do them, but the last set of colour blocks, I calculated my daily wage on that, and it really wasn't worth it. Like it was, I spent like 10 days, and I'm not going to say how much it was, but it was a lot. I got the really complicated block. It was technically a color block. It was sort of like a second key. I'd done the key block, and then I did the second color block, which was an outline on like a kimono pattern, really complicated, really sort of like these lines. Takes a long time. You have to be careful. Super easy to ship, so go slow. Working. And then it's like the same price as a standard color block that I could do in a couple hours. So I kind of want to have a word about the pricing of the color blocks before I say just straight up like I'll do it, because my time is really valuable now. I have lots of projects going on, and I also have a 1-year-old and a wife, and so he understands that. I think it's not going to be a difficult conversation with him, but I might say like, Ma, maybe we can give more money for color blocks, or we can give them to someone else. I think I've earned that because I've put in the work and just like I worked for free for a long time. I think now that I'm like the top carver there, I can maybe have a few demands. Is this same setting for music from the past? Is it loud or is it quiet? I think it's the same. I did during the last stream. It was too loud in my ear, so I turned that one down and this one up. So if it's wrong, I can change it. Is it too quiet, too loud? Let me know. Excuse me, let me just cough. Bit loud, okay. Maybe I'm talking a little bit quiet today. Evening's a sleepy time turn, so. Is that better? Let me know. I can go lower. Usually we can't keep it around the 40 to 35 minus. Also, this song is maybe quite squeaky. Mm-hmm. Just knock the brush over. No worries, no worries. Ah, this is. My head's just gone blank. There was something I just remembered to talk to you about, and now it's gone. I'm in the Anyway, I went swimming today. This week, you'll be very proud of me. I said I was going to lose some weight, and I don't swim lightly. Everything I do, I sort of like go a little bit too hard and end up tiring myself out and getting injuries. Not with swimming. It's okay. It's kind of light on the body. I lost a kg this week. So no light swimming, no doggy paddles for all. None of that old lady breaststroke. But I'm quite happy. Been watching my diet. Haven't been eating much. Salads for lunch. Swimming every day. And camping was actually a lot of exercise, especially with a 1-year-old. So we'll get to our summer body just as summer is ending, I guess. I can add it. Give me a second. I don't have a keyboard here, so everything has to be copy and pasted. How do I get to the thing? There we go, paste. I can't click enter. Brimbabu. We like a bit of bossa nova here. Simon. Brincane. This will not play very well on the... Maybe we won't do this so much. Without a keyboard, this is such a nightmare. Tell you what I'll do. Songs from the album called Gen. Lisa Ono and Hiramatsu. What we might just do if we have other song requests. I was gonna set up a channel in the Discord so we could do this type of stuff. I haven't done it yet. Okay, I found the album. And it's called Brimbabu. I found it. Okay. Add to the queue. Let's check it out. Just know that if I don't like the song, you will be on timeout for the next 5 minutes. You're safe. It's a nice song. You got ads starting in 20 seconds. A lot of ads today. What's going on? Have they updated something? I thought I had it just set for once an hour. Oh, it is the hour. Okay. It's already been an hour? My God. Timeouts, yeah. No, I will be handing the timeouts to people who give bad song suggestions midstream. I'll have to set up that channel. I would like new suggestions. I have added a few new songs to the playlist. Has anyone watched Shogun? I've been chatting to a guy in the pool. Well, he started talking to me, an older guy, and he looks like Rikusunada, but playing Toranaga-sama a little bit. It's kind of like a knockoff Rikusunada. Sanada? Sanada? Sanada ne. You haven't seen it yet. You should watch it. It's incredible. It's genuine recommendation. It's really, really good. I was looking on Audible. It's sort of based like on a semi-fictional um retelling of the Warring States period with um I guess he's a stand-in for Ieyasu. No, I haven't. I have a husband and a toddler and a full-time job and hobby of making woodblock prints. Put it on in the background or watch it in as I do in 10-minute, 15-minute bursts at dinner time after the kids are asleep. That's how I consume all our media. We have dinner and we have like 10, 30 minutes if we're lucky, and then that's it. So it takes a long while. You actually, if you watch episodes in half, you get double the amount of episodes, which is a really nice benefit. I like that one so much actually. That the first time I watched that, it was there's a there was still like when my partner was pregnant, there was a still holdups from the COVID era in the hospital we were in, and we had no idea of this until like we went in. But like basically, I wasn't allowed to be there a lot, and it was really upsetting and not very cool. But yeah, I had to just come in. I had to book a time slot just to see her. She was in hospital. I had to keep the baby in the hospital for like a week after birth, which coming from the UK, like it's less than 24 hours. Because we have a midwifery system here in the UK and stuff. Where was the filming done? I'm not sure. I guess California, somewhere like that. So that's what I did when I wasn't when I wasn't stressed about not being allowed to go see my newborn son only for half an hour a day. I watched that and had combini lunch, combini dinner by myself, and was very sad. But that show cheered me up a lot. We have a movie night in our house a couple times a week. That's my TV time. Yeah, whatever works for you. You've got to set a system up. We're trying to set up some sort of like Like I was talking to you a little while about like going dancing or something. Logistically, it's just really not possible. I think we've been out on like sort of date nights maybe twice since the baby was born. But we had our anniversary. The camp was like half for our anniversary and half for our son's first birthday. It's sort of a mixed event. But we also went out to a very fancy restaurant. We don't go out very often. And so I splashed out on a course dinner for the both of us. A very nice one in Omiya. If any of you have ever been to Japan, Omiya is where the very famous train museum is. Fun, fun, fun. And it's also more fun for me than the train museum. I heard it's actually quite good, the train museum. I shouldn't knock it too much. It's supposed to be really good. I don't know. It's also where the bonsai village is, which is a little bit more up my street for obvious reasons. When I was younger, I probably lived a bunch of train otakus like Wet Dream. Give me a second, let me blow my nose. So the people who really like the train museum, like really like the train museum, they'd have been very jealous of me. I worked on the North Wales. I guess it's the last steam railway. I'm not sure about that. It's one of the few steam railways still running in Wales. Trains, trains and bonsais. Now we're talking. It's a Friday night, I tell you. There's actually also a very bustling nightlife in Omi, I think. I used to work on it's called the Festiniog Railway. Thank you. If you're new here, I can show you a quick picture of the print we're working on. I don't do this enough actually. This is the print we're working on. This is the black lines. Welcome in. If there are any first time viewers, we're working on this. Arigato. This is just a rough estimation of what it is. Lines are so delicate. Yeah, well, the carver and the artist are one and the same in this project. So I got to make the type of lines I wanted to carve. Did you have to tell tourist it was Ivor the engine? I didn't work on the train. I worked like laying tracks. So I was in foster care, and one of the people I stayed with, was like a maintenance person on the steam railway, and instead of getting babysitters, I used to go to work as a volunteer on the railway. I got to drive the work train there, so that was kind of fun. And press the whistle. So if you ever go to North Wales and ride the Ffestiniog Railway, I laid some of that track. When I was like 10. Maybe we'll go there when we're going back in September. Nice little train ride. Give my partner the full Harry Potter experience, riding on a steam engine. I was fishing last year and I got to watch a team laying track alongside the river. It was fascinating enough that I stopped and stopped fishing just to watch for an hour. Really? What were they doing? Laying the sleepers or the rails? Even with this macro, like, I don't know, if you're watching on a phone, I guess this is not very big. Is it clear enough for you guys? I noticed I was uploading to the VOD site, the YouTube for the VODs for this channel. And I noticed the audio was like really not very good. I guess it was because I had this cranked up a little too high, the gain, and working with the limiters and the suppressor that I set up for the hammering time. I guess we were like constantly in the suppressor or limiter, which one? Suppressor was working the background noises, right? So the limiter was like constantly kicked in and it sounded really bad. So I turned the volume down a little bit. Hopefully that fixes it. They were laying new rail and had a big car that welded it. Oh, like a machine doing it. The one I worked on, it was mostly just like 5 guys who laid the whole truck and like repaired sections. No big machinery. There was a little work engine, and that cart pulled a couple carts, some with sleepers, some with rails, and then a bunch of like gravel. It was pretty low tech stuff. It's like driving the nails, the pins. I guess modern railways, they're a little bit more complicated. You've got electrical stuff going on. They raised and lowered the train by hand. And laid the rail by hand. Not the train. Raised and laid. Oh, that's terrible. Did you see what happened there? The bristles caught, and then it rolled the brush over onto the back. It's got these little pins. Oh. That's not something you want to do. Firm grip on your hacket. One long curve. Long coming out. That's definitely a line. 1, 2, 3. That's waist. That's waist. Why is that carved? It's really quite deceptive. A lot of these things, once you gouged on one side and then you cleared a little bit, they look like they're supposed to be little dots. I have to keep going back and checking. And I'm thinking now, I quickly pulled up a digital file so I could flick between. Guess it's in the cupboard. We won't go to the cupboard though, because we don't want everything falling on our heads. We've got a good track record now. I think it's like 5-1, somewhere thereabouts. For things not falling out the cupboard on top of my head. Are you guys kind of eager to see the new prints I'm working on? Or do you prefer... What I'm asking about is like switching between different jobs, like the bonsai, and unfortunately I can't do Asuka Sensei work here. But bonsai and mokankan work, tracing and stuff. Do you enjoy the variety? Or do you prefer to see like a project started and taken to fruition. Variety view. Partly that decision is based on, I guess, that this one is like a kind of a tedious block and takes a long time to finish. I feel like we've been working on this a long. Hi Taryn, will you ever do a Bajinga print? Yes, yeah. There's a couple projects, and we're ironing out who's gonna get that. There's a big Oiran print that I would very much like to do. I really like Bajinga prints. I'm working on the tracing at the moment for a samurai print. I don't know how much of the streams you've seen, but it's essentially the same sort of, like, it's got the hair and it's got a small face. So that's a Mushe, a samurai print. But yeah, I'm quite excited to sort of get flexing on a print with some really thin hairs. No triggering or boring. No tiring or boring. One catches some new knowledge every day. Something that you don't realize before when it was already had been explained. What are we referring to? No tiring or boring. One catches some new knowledge every day. Something you didn't realize before. What are we talking about here? At least that's how my brain works. Are you talking about this block? But it's not tiring or boring for me, obviously. I'm really slow. It's not tiring or boring for me to do, but I imagine just like carving is one thing. There's a sort of tension there, right? You're doing like delicate lines. It's like, is he gonna nail it? You get it, get it, get it. Don't say sorry. No, it was me. I was really slow there. Big clearing is fun because it's like lots happening quickly. The ice ski on like thick lines is fun because quickly an image starts to appear. But this sort of like thin, picky work, I didn't design this print to be specifically streamable. It's kind of picky work, and it takes a little bit more time to do. And so in my head, this is not very interesting to watch because the block itself changes really gradually. We've done what, in an hour and a half nearly, we've come up this side here, but that's it. It takes time. Actually, it's not bad. There is some visible change at least. Iwata Sentaro. Give me a second. 知らない。Ah, it's that dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know this. I know you what that's into. Not one of the famous ones. Um, Dave actually got a bunch of these. Maybe I can open this in a new tab. Need a keyboard close here. Then I got to switch back over here. Put it in chat. Put this one. No. No, that didn't copy. Ooh. Can you see how using the keyboard is not optimized? I don't know, for some reason it's not pasting. There we go. Now we're gonna click enter. Jeez. This image here, Dave got a set of these. Maybe he showed it on stream, I can't really remember. I don't always get to the show and tell. But he had these in the shop. Was it last time I went or the time before? I was looking through. This is all Iwata Sentaro. I wasn't really familiar with the name before I saw them when he got them off the auctions. And yeah, he had like a set of 5 of them. Technically, like, they're really beautiful. They're not my cup of tea. I see, like, he's got a little bit more Western style faces. And some of them are a little bit stylized. Ah, this was the other one he had, the one with the blonde hair. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. But that's the cool thing about prints. There's like something for everyone's taste and style. Technically, these prints are really beautiful, that whole set. You remember them? Yeah, okay, so we did show them on stream as well. If you want to see the prints he had, maybe you can look through the archive VODs for that. Good luck finding them. If you're lucky, it'll be in the thumbnail for one of them. What is one of your favorite artists in this genre? Wow, it's so wide. Give me a second to think. Welcome in, Tim. Thank you. We're working on this little print here. My favorite artist, I said before, I feel really basic in saying it, but Hokusai is the king for a reason. I love Hokusai's line work. It just isn't beaten. The opposite of that, the person with the most beauty, Hokusai's line work is really iconic. And I love Hokusai's brushwork. It's the most fun to carve. Like, I did a lot of my training on Hokusai brushwork because it's so expressive, and you can easily tell after carving if the line is Hokusai or not. Like, after you've carved and printed it, you can see, oh, that's Hokusai, that's not Hokusai. So his brushwork is just so iconic. In terms of style, Utamaro has the most beautiful brushwork. It's like the complete opposite of Hokusai's. Long, swooping, the most, like, almost like a digital brush pen type of brush, but with a lot more taste. And someone here is saying Okada Yoshio is the Yoshi is very nice as well. I like Okada Yoshio. Wouldn't be in my top 5. I really like Nanda. His name's just gone. Hiroshi Yoshida. I wasn't initially very drawn to Shinhanga. And I have to say that I'm not really a big fan of Hatsu. He's got some nice prints. His earlier stuff is very interesting, and some of the lesser known ones actually are really, really beautiful. But I find a lot of Hasui stuff, it sort of just seems like postcards, and it feels like it's void of any sort of emotion or feeling from the artist. Like you know when an artist makes a beautiful image and you look at it and you go, wow, he ate up everything in this. He was like doing it. He was passionate about this. That's why I love Hokusai so much, because like everything he does, you can feel like the way he used the brush and stuff. But I feel like a lot of Hasui stuff is sort of just like him going through the ropes. It feels like he's just technically very competent, and so he can just switch his brain off and goes, okay, they wanted a temple, done. Yoshida is, I feel, the opposite. That he was obviously very passionate. Again, this is not the way. Like there's interviews and stuff of Hasu, and I respect him. Just I'm not the biggest fan. There is a really nice interview on, not interview, like a documentary on YouTube. Or is that the Yoshida one? I know Dave is not a fan. I like Tomikichiro. Animal prints. The animal prints and abstracts from Toshi Yoshida. They're interesting. They're really interesting. I was surprised the first time I saw them. I actually have a book. Remind me. Well, you can't remind me. It's too late. You remind me on stream. On Friday, I have a kids book made by Toshi Yoshida. Let me bring it to you. It's color pencils. The African, yeah, it's spectacular from a distance. The Africa series is really beautiful from a distance. I feel like he overplayed one trick with that. I really like them, but it becomes a little bit repetitive when you see a lot of them. And from a distance, they're spectacular. Can you link to it? No, I can't. You've just seen me use the keyboard. Do you really want to go through that? We're actually at the end of stream. So next time I'll bring the book. I have it here. I've been reading it to my son. It's about some African animals, so I think you guys will enjoy it. Oh, flyfish! Yeah. Hopefully you can. If not, please share your. Let's start a talk about our favorite artists and art prints in the Discord. Link if you click /Discord. I think you'll get the link. Join in. Lots of good conversation to be had there. I'll start a conversation about prints. Go to Prince and Ting. Shit. Oh, thank you very much, Babyface. Yeah, Santaro's work is very nice. Again, technically really nice. It's just style is not always my cup of tea. But they're really beautiful in person. Lots and lots of difficult printing on them. Small gradations. I'm a little bit tired. I think it's bedtime for me. I think we'll leave it there. We got a little bit done. Not a terrible amount, but we got a little bit done. I was seeing if I could show you like progress. So these streams sort of have a close to them. I took a quick like Karazuri impression, and to me it's really vivid, but I was trying to show it on stream on the camera and I was really struggling. I don't think we can get it. Let me see. Let me see if I can take a deeper impression. It'd be really cool if we could do little progress reports like this. See if we can get a really strong emboss into this. If we get the light just right, we can have a bit of an update. Good way to ruin a band going too hard. Where is it? I went over the last impression. Gee. Nah, we're not going to get it. Nah, it's much too light. You can see a little bit. We got a little bit there. Okay, let's leave it. One day we'll get that. We'll get that working. Or maybe we won't. Who knows? We'll just have to wait until it's all carved and we can take a quick test impression. I'm assuming you guys will want that on stream, so I shall save it. Some fine lines indeed. Yeah, let's see if we've got anyone to raid. See if there's anyone online. If I can't find anyone quickly, maybe we'll just move on. See if we got anyone following. Same category. That last raid was really good. Is it Yoshio-san? Some more like that would be good. See, did anyone put any suggestions? Got to run. I'm distracted with work this morning. Have a great day. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it there. We'll find a nice stream next time. Thank you for showing up, everyone. Sorry about last Friday. I will try and be more diligent on making the slots and planning my life according to around you guys' schedule. Thanks so much for showing up. Sorry if it's been a bit slow stream. Friday will be all systems go and back on some Mokankan prints. Have a good one. Bye.
To てもサンキュー。